Hello everyone, welcome back all of you. In today's session we are going to have discussion on temperature sensors, and in temperature sensors we are mainly going to focus on three different types of them, one of which is going to be RTD, then we'll proceed further with thermistor, and at the end we'll have a look of thermocouple. And in RTD and thermistors are going to be the passive sensors, whereas thermocouple is going to be active sensor. What does that mean, active sensors and passive sensors? Active sensors are sensors which does not require any external supply for its operation, whereas RTD and thermistor they are passive, so they are going to require an external supply to make use of the effect which they are taking place. So to get some meaningful output, we need to provide some external source, so that only then only we'll be able to extract some information out of them. So resistance temperature detector RTD is going to be positive temperature coefficient of resistance. What does that mean? Positive temperature coefficient states that if the temperature of our medium which we wish to measure is going to increase, the resistance of our sensor will also increase. So that's what meaning of positive temperature coefficient. And RTD, in terms of industrial accuracy, the expression is given as RT is equal to R naught 1 plus alpha delta T plus beta delta T whole square plus gamma delta T whole cube, and so on. So what actually happening here is if we are increasing the degree, more number of terms if we are going to involve in our expression, we are going to get good amount of accuracy. But we are using approximate linear equation in the range minus 180 degree centigrade to 630 degree centigrade, and the linear approximate expression which we are making use of is taking only beginning terms of it. RT is equal to R naught 1 plus alpha delta T. So only up to degree 1 we are going to take the temperature difference in the expression. And RTDs are mainly made up of three different type of metals: platinum, copper and nickel, and out of which mainly we are focusing on mainly we are preferring platinum in the industrial point of view. Why? Because it has the more linearity than that of other metal, nickel, and also it has higher stability at greater temperatures than that of copper, and also it is a noble metal, so we are having the advantage that it is not going to react chemically with our measurand. So we'll focus on platinum, and the temperature coefficient of resistance for platinum is going to be plus 0.00392 per degree Celsius. So always keep in mind about the sign plus and minus, because we have the positive temperature of resistance. And we used to come across these type of terminologies in real life. What does that mean by PT100, and what does that mean by platinum 1000? So platinum 100 means at 0 degree centigrade, the resistance of the sensor is going to be 100 ohm, whereas in the case of platinum 1000, the resistance of sensor at 0 degree Celsius, it is going to be 1 kilo ohm. And having merits of it, we have another demerits as well, which is it is going to be little expensive one. So until and unless we require the platinum sensor or RTD, we will try to establish the experimental thing with the help of other sensors. Only if it is required, uh, then only we'll go with that, because in the chemical industries platinum is a noble metal, so it is not going to react with the measurand. So in that case only we usually prefer platinum RTD, otherwise we try to find some other alternative because it is the expensive one. So having understood the expression RT is equal to R naught 1 plus alpha delta D, we will try to establish some industrial use out of it. So for that purpose we are going to have a look of temperature data acquisition system. As I already mentioned, if you are really following the classes till now, I had mentioned in the earlier class itself, in the basics one, that data acquisition system is the system which is going to give us some meaningful output from the physical variable. So here our physical variable is temperature, which is being sensed by one platinum RTD, and this is having two wires. And if this particular sensor we are using in the one arm of Wheatstone bridge, and other arms of the Wheatstone bridge I am taking as resistance R, and let us assume it has supplied with the supply voltage as Vs, and at these two terminals we are going to take the output voltage plus minus V of quarter bridge, because only one arm is being sensed, so this is going to be known as quarter bridge. And also, as I mentioned, we have to be very careful about the resistances at the beginning itself. For example, our environmental temperature is 25 degrees Celsius, and we are going to start our experiment from 25 degrees Celsius, and the resistance of platinum at 25 degrees Celsius, let us say some value R. So we have to make sure that the all other resistance of the Wheatstone bridge in the all the arms should be equal. Then only if we are changing the temperature from reference point to some other point, because we are taking the reference as 25 degrees Celsius, and then if we are changing, then only we will be able to get the some proportional output. So moving further, if we wish to amplify our output voltage from the Wheatstone bridge, we are going to make use of one operational amplifier, and then we will give it to the analog to digital converter, and then we will try to display it with the help of display. So circuit number 1, signal conditioning; circuit number 2, operational amplifier; and circuit number 3, ADC. So Wheatstone bridge, op amp and ADC, combinedly all these three going to be known as signal conditioning circuit. So not only RTD, if we are using thermistor or thermocouple, any sensor, one arm is being sensed, not thermocouple, it is an active one, so we are going to have separate diagram for that. For RTD and thermistor, we can make use of same signal conditioning. So we are having our physical parameter, temperature, and we are using Wheatstone bridge, operational amplifier and ADC to make meaningful output to display the value of temperature. So this is going to be known as temperature data acquisition system, and the resistance of PT is going to vary as RT is equal to R naught 1 plus alpha delta T. So quarter bridge expression output is going to come as Vs by 4 into delta R by R, and we have the value for delta R as RT is equal to R naught plus R naught alpha delta T. So RT minus R naught is going to be R naught alpha delta T. So delta R will come as R naught alpha delta T, and R naught is the resistance of platinum at in the beginning condition. So delta R we can get it as R naught alpha delta T, and if we put this particular thing here, so we will get quarter bridge output as Vs by 4 into R naught alpha delta T divided by R, and R is R naught, so R naught gets cancelled, Vs by 4 alpha delta T. So we can simply see that the temperature delta T, which is going to be get converted in terms of output voltage, and that output voltage with the help of other signal conditioning will be able to display it. So that's how we are making use of our sensors in the application in industries. And now we'll have a look of thermistor and thermocouple. And moving forward with thermistors, thermistors are mainly made up of semiconductors, and they can have both PTC and NTC, can have positive temperature coefficient of resistance as well as negative temperature coefficient of resistance. So PTC are mainly they are same as RTD except cost and the size, but mainly we use NTC type of thermistor, which is going to have material as gallium, silicon or selenium. So negative temperature coefficient of resistance means if we are increasing the temperature of our medium, the medium which is being sensed, so due to that the resistance of our sensor is going to decrease exponentially, and in the case the resistance was increasing linearly because we had linear approximate resistance formula there. So here exponential formula is RT is equal to R naught e power beta 1 by T minus 1 by T naught, and again R naught is going to be the resistance at in the beginning. And also have to keep in mind that temperature is going to be put here as in the Kelvin, whereas in the previous case it was used in degree centigrade, and beta is going to be the material constant which has value between 3000 to 4500 Kelvin. So the thermistor has its own advantages, that it has the smaller size and the cost is also going to be low, which was demerit in the previous case because the resistance temperature detector is going to be the costlier one, and it has higher sensitivity. Why so? Because it is going to be the non-linear one. So the sensitivity is rate of change of output divided by rate of change of input. So on changing the input, the output is decreasing rapidly, so it is going to have higher sensitivity. And also, as we know that if we have more linearity, the sensitivity will be less, and if we have the higher sensitivity, the linearity will be less. So they are always opposite to each other. So demerit, as it is having higher sensitivity, so it is going to be non-linear, and it has low range value. So and also it is not suitable for power or chemical plants, because in those places the metal PT is going to be used, platinum RTD, because it is going to be non-reactive one, whereas this may react with our measurand. So moving forward with expression for temperature coefficient of resistance beta, we will try to derive it for this case. So in the previous case RTD, we had delta R as R naught alpha delta T, and temperature sensitivity rate of change of resistance divided by rate of change of temperature. So we has R naught alpha ohm per unit degree centigrade, and temperature coefficient of resistance alpha, if we divide again by R naught, this will become as 1 by R naught delta R by delta T. So same thing, we have to derive the temperature coefficient resistance in case of thermistor. So it is going to be 1 by R dr by dt. So this particular thing we have to derive using the formula RT is equal to R naught e power beta 1 by T minus 1 by T naught. Apply the logarithm both the sides, log of RT by R naught. First I have divided by R naught, and then I have applied logarithm, so it will become beta 1 by T minus 1 by T naught, because ln of e power something is going to be ln of e power x is x. So ln of e power beta 1 by T minus 1 by T naught is beta 1 by T minus 1 by T naught, and this will write as log of RT minus log of R naught. So log of a by b is log a minus log b, and beta 1 by T minus 1 by T naught. So T naught is going to be a constant value, and R naught is also going to be the constant value, because the reference point T naught has constant resistance R naught. So let us differentiate both the side with respect to resistance R. So differentiation of log x is 1 by x. So log RT is 1 by RT into dRT by dt, and with respect to time. Okay, then log of R naught is constant value, so it will be 0 beta times of 1 by T, and differentiation of 1 by x is minus 1 by x square. So this will be minus 1 by T square. Okay, so this is not dt, this is dt with respect to temperature, not time. So the this is going to come as minus 1 by T square and dt by dt. So dt is going to cancel, because we are differentiating with respect to temperature only. So we can see here 1 by R dr by dt, this term we can see coming here. So this will be minus beta by T square. So this is we can see negative sign is coming, because thermistor has negative temperature coefficient of resistance. So this much is sufficient in thermistor application. Only these two formulas which we are going to make use of in the numerical solving. RT is equal to R naught e power beta 1 by T minus 1 by T naught, and alpha is equal to minus beta by T square. But you have to keep in mind that temperature is going to be in Kelvin. So that's the place where most of the students make the mistake. So be careful about it. And now let us proceed further with thermocouple. And now let us understand the principle of thermocouple. It is going to work on the principle of Seebeck effect, and when two different materials join together, then two junctions are formed. So let us say one material I am taking as A, and the another material I am taking as B. So when two different material join together, then two junctions are formed. So let us say the junction formed as having temperature as T1 and T2. So at these junctions, if two temperatures are maintained such a way, T1 minus T2 is positive, means both the temperature junctions are going to have some difference value in it. So they are not going to be exactly same. So the flow of current takes place from hot junction to cold junction. So this is I am assuming as a hot junction, and this is I am assuming as cold junction. So T1 minus T2 is going to be 0 greater than 0. So if current takes place from hot junction to cold junction, so like this the flow of current will take place, so which can be sensed as thermal EMF using a voltmeter. And if we are using a voltmeter, we will be able to sense that how much voltage difference is being generated. So this is going to be an active process of conversion where thermal effect is getting converted into electrical output. So this is also known as thermoelectric effect or Seebeck effect. So now we'll try to have a look of its circuit diagram, which we are actually going to make use of. And also first let us discuss about its output expression, how exactly we are going to get the output with proportional to the temperature difference. So the output E naught is going to be A delta T plus B delta T whole square plus C delta T whole cube and so on. So two junctions, this is TH and this is T cold, higher temperature and cold temperature, and the temperature difference delta T is going to be TH minus TC. So using the Seebeck effect, we are going to get the output voltage proportional to temperature difference between both the junctions. So this particular expression can be written as E naught equal to A delta T plus B delta T whole square plus C delta T whole cube and so on. So as discussed in the case of RTD also, we had industrial expression something like this only, but in the problem solving we are making use of only lower terms. We are not going to consider these terms. So the output we are going to get as E naught A into delta T, and this A we are going to name as sensitivity S into delta T will be TH minus TC. So the sensitivity will come out as E naught by TH minus TC. So output by input. So that's what the expression of the thermocouple is going to be. And now we'll write the electrical equivalent circuit of thermocouple. So in the electric equivalent circuit of thermocouple, it is going to have two junctions. One junction is going to be hot junction, which is having temperature as TH and also known as measuring junction, and TC is given as temperature of the cold junction, and the output voltage we are going to measure with the help of a voltmeter. So the output E naught is equal to AB is going to be given as sensitivity into T higher minus T hot minus T cold. So we have to keep in mind that the output which we are going to get from the thermocouple is going to be the difference of the temperatures of the hot junction and cold junction. So if we wish to get the output readings in proportional to only the changes in the hot junction temperature, we need to make the cold junction temperature as 0 degree centigrade. So the output will come as E naught equal to sensitivity into TH. So to make TC equal to 0 degree centigrade, we need to do some arrangement. So that is going to be known as cold junction compensation. And nowadays today actually we are not making the temperature as 0 degree centigrade. Instead we are going to fix it at one particular value, and then we will be able to calibrate our scale in terms of the temperature changes which we are going to face. So and also we need to keep in mind the sensitivity is going to change with respect to the metals which we are going to make use of. If we are making chromal and aluminum, so the type of thermocouple is going to be K, and the sensitivity will be 47 microvolt per degree centigrade. And in T type, copper constant metal is going to be used, and the sensitivity will be 43 microvolt per degree centigrade. Whereas in the case of J type, iron constant and the sensitivity will be 50 microvolt per degree centigrade. And by seeing the values, we are able to see that the sensitivity is in the microvolts for per unit change in the temperature. So either we have to increase the sensitivity with the series connection, which is going to be known as thermopile. So the temperature of furnace is TH, T hot, and if we are making use of 3 thermocouples in series, we are going to get addition of 3 voltages, E naught, E naught and E naught. We will be getting as 3 E naught. So for same temperature we are going to get higher value. So the output by input, the sensitivity will be increased. Or we can do what we can do is the output in terms of microvolt can be amplified with the proper signal conditioning, so that we can make use of it in the proper fashion. So either we can make use of thermopile, or we can make use of electric circuit, so that we can get the amplified output. So having understood the concept of thermocouple and how the sensitivity is going to vary with respect to the metals which we are going to make use of, so let us understand the principle of thermocouple, and then we'll try to discuss about merits and demerits, and also we'll try to have some basic understanding how we are practically making use of this particular sensor thermocouple. So now let us talk about principles of thermocouple, and by understanding them we'll be able to get that what actual benefits we are going to get over other sensors. So the first law says E of BA is equal to minus of E of AB. So what does that mean? If I am assuming two junction temperature as T1 and T2, and I am using the metal as A and B, and between the same two junctions, if I am making use of metal both as A and B only, but the voltage difference I am taking here as E of AB, but in this case the voltage difference I am going to take as E of BA. So the polarity I am going to reverse. In the previous case the A metal has the positive lead, and in the another case the B metal has the positive lead. So the voltage difference E of BA is going to be the negative of E of AB. So you have to keep in mind whether we are discussing the type of K type, T type and J type. So the first metal which we are naming first is going to be the positive lead, and the second metal is going to be the negative lead. So always keep in mind E of BA is equal to minus of E of AB. And the second one says law of intermediate EMFs. So what we are doing, so this junction is at temperature T1 and another junction is at temperature T2, and in the another combination of metals the thermocouple has junction temperature as T2 and T3, and the combination of metal is same only, A and B. So here E0 is going to be sensitivity into T1 minus T2. Assume this particular temperature as higher than T2, and in this case E0 is going to be sensitivity, because the thermocouple is same, and T2 minus T3. So I have assumed T1 is greater than T2, and in this case T2 is greater than T3. So overall T1 is greater than T3. So if I wish to get the voltage E between T1 and T3, this is going to be sensitivity times T1 minus T3. So I am naming as E01, E02 and E03 I will write. So we can clearly see that E03 is going to be summation of E01 plus E02, sensitivity into T1 minus T2 plus sensitivity into T2 minus T3. So minus T2 and plus T2 going to get cancelled, sensitivity is taken common, so T1 minus T3 is going to come out as E03. So the output voltage E03 is going to be the summation of E01 and E02 until and unless the thermocouples are same. So if we are measuring three temperatures, one is being measured as difference T1 minus T2 and another one is T2 minus T3, and if we wish to know the relation between T1 and T3, so we can just simply add the EMFs. And the third one says EMF depends only on junction temperatures. So how does it going to give us the facility? Says if this is as TH and this is at TC, and this particular hot temperature is in the furnace and this is at our control room, and in between there are going to be number of temperatures, because we cannot maintain the temperature in between the same. So but the output which we are going to get in the control room is going to be E0 is equal to sensitivity into TH minus T cold. So in between whatever temperature these particular metals are facing, apart from these TH and TC, we are going to get the same voltage output. So EMF does not depend on junction temperature. So this is going to give the facility as lead wire extension. And in the another case, fourth one, law of intermediate metals, so it facilitates us to include the additional lead wires. So let us say this is this is metal A and this is metal B. So this is at TH and this is at TC, and I am cutting the metal A in between and I am adding another metal C. So two more junctions are going to get formed, but due to the law of intermediate metals, until and unless the temperature of the both the junctions are same, the output is not going to get affected, and the output is going to come out as sensitivity into Th minus T cold only. So if we are using intermediate metal, we are not going to get any difference in the reading, provided the temperature is going to be same at both the junctions. So what this is giving the facility as, for let us say we are using K type thermocouple or any thermocouple which is making use of expensive metals, right? So we cannot just simply extend the expensive metals up to our control room. So in between we can introduce the copper wire or aluminum wire, which are going to be little less costly. So this is going to give us the facility in that fashion. And the final and most important one in numerical solving point of view, E of AC is going to be E of AB plus E of BC. So this is going to come from law of intermediate EMF, which we have already derived, that E03 is going to be sum of E01 plus E02, but using that we can have the reference formula for sensitivity. So let us see, I wish to know the EMF output for copper constant ton, and I am making use of two temperature difference T1 and T2, but instead of knowing about the copper constant ton, I am making use of two different thermocouples which is having platinum as common, this one, and the temperature differences are same T1 T2. So the output voltage is going to be sensitivity into T1 minus T2, sensitivity of this is A and this is C, but I am using one intermediate in between. Instead of AC we are using AB and BC. So this is E01, this is E02, and this is E03. So from the law of intermediate EMF we know E03 is going to be E01 plus E02. So E01 will be sensitivity of AB into T1 minus T2 plus sensitivity of BC into T2 minus T1 minus T2. So now we will have the final thing as E03 we can write sensitivity of A and C into T1 minus T2 is equal to sensitivity of AB into T1 minus T2 plus sensitivity of BC T1 minus T2. So this temperature difference T1 minus T2 going to get cancelled, and sensitivity of AC is going to be summation of sensitivity of AB plus sensitivity of BC. So instead of using it like this, we will try to make reference point as B. So this will take it as AB only. Instead of BC, if we do it CB, this will become as negative, because E of BA is going to be the minus of E of AB. So what actually we are getting out of it, we are making one particular B as a reference point. So A is positive lead, B is negative lead, and in this case C is positive lead and B is negative lead. So we come with the formula as sensitivity of AC is equal to sensitivity of AB minus sensitivity of CB. So these are all the basic laws which facilitate us to make use of thermocouple very effectively compared to all other sensors. And now we will try to write all the merits and demerits, and we will have a comparison of all these three sensors. So let us summarize our topic, temperature sensors. We have seen two passive sensors, resistive temperature detector and thermistor. So RTD, the expression came out as RT is equal to R0 1 plus alpha delta T. So it is the approximate linear relation, and we had one disadvantage in the case of RTD, that it is going to be little costlier one, because PTZ has quite high cost, and the range of temperature is going to be quite sufficient from minus 180 degree centigrade to 630 degree centigrade. And in the case of thermistor, it is going to be the non-linear, but as the non-linearity is increasing, the sensitivity is going to be little higher than that of RTD, but at the same time it is going to have lower cost. So most probably in the range of minus 100 to 350 in the home appliances especially, the thermistor is mainly preferred, because it has a higher sensitivity at the specified range of the temperature. And in the case of thermocouple, it is going to be an active sensor, and the output is going to come as E naught is equal to sensitivity into Th minus T cold, and it is going to have high range of measurement compared to RTD and thermistor. So in industries, this is the most rugged sensor which we are going to use, but it has the demerit as we need to do the cold junction compensation, and also as we seen, the output is going to be in microvolt. So either we need to make use of thermopile or we need to amplify the output voltage. And in the thermocouple, we are going to have different versatility of thermocouples, because we have different combination of metals. So we can use K types, T types or J types, and depending on the requirement, we can have the different sensitivity as well, depending on the type of the thermocouple. And thermocouple is going to give the precise measurement compared to RTD and thermistor. So these are all the basic advantage, disadvantages, and that is all for today's session. If you have any doubt, you can ask in the comment section. Thank you.